Gavin Newsom is obsessed with Donald Trump. He wants to be Donald Trump. He has a crush on Donald Trump. He copies everything Donald Trump does. The difference between Trump and Gavin Newsom is that Trump is sincere. He is a fighter. This is just who he is. With Gavin, it's all performative and people can see right through it, and he hates it.
I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
That is so funny. That is so funny of Trump's team to do. And you can see it, Gavin Newsom's like deeply disturbed by it. It's called trolling. Trump's the master of it. But Gavin doesn't get that. It's not clocking to him, even though he tries and pretends on X. His whole rebrand is just to become like Trump, showing that the Democrats really just want their own Trump. They really, really just want their own Trump. And Gavin Newsom is pretending to be like that. But he can't, and he will never, ever be. He is not a fighter. He is a destroyer who stands for nothing. I am from California. He ruined my home state, and we cannot let this man anywhere near our highest office. He's a gross, slimy, cheating car salesman who has a crush on our president.
And before we go,
at some point, people don't believe anything.
Yes, this is Obama. We saw what they did during the Biden administration period. They came in with Minister of Truth. It didn't work out. This is him repeating the same thing. I understand they advocate for more of this on social media. Now going into calculating the view, they reacted to this video in a way that draw my attention. I want you to see that when you take a look at this video, our former president obligated to speak out. The view co-host wherein as some are criticizing former President Barack Obama for not being more outspoken about the current administrations. They are not happy that Obama is not talking about Trump the way they expected. Looking at this forum, Obama talked about the Trump administration without calling his name.
Have you guys not learned anything by now? I don't understand. Okay, I was a Democrat and I still hated Gavin Newsom. Have you guys not learned anything? Not one thing. Not one thing. Let me riddle you this, okay? Lowest approval rating in almost 4 decades now, okay? You're hemorrhaging voters. Every single state now has an uptick in Republican voters. And you guys have lost almost 5 million registered Democrat voters since just 2024 alone, okay? You would think that with all of that, you'd sit there and say, what's our plan? Okay, because it needs to be a good one. You guys are not in the driver's seat anymore. I don't know how else to put that, but if you don't make a good plan that's going to align with the majority of America, you're never going to win ever again. I can't put that any nicer. And that's not just me saying it because I support Trump or I'm a Republican. It's me saying it because this is statistic truth. Your party is going to take years to come back from the damage you guys have created. And instead of acknowledging that and saying, okay, let's be better, you put up the poster child of corruption as your candidate and leader. Am I getting that right? Gavin Newsom has destroyed California objectively. There's nothing positive that man has done. And I know that you guys are so deep in hell because most of you actually know that, and you would still vote for him over any Republican. And that is where you guys keep failing. You guys have 3 years until the presidential election of 2028. 3 years. If in 3 years you can't concoct a plan that is better than Gavin Newsom, that tells me way more about you and the destruction of your party than it says anything about how much you hate Trump. Gavin Newsom's only success right now is because he's fighting against Trump. But guess what? That's not going to last because Trump will leave office. And then Gavin is left with actually running a country when the man can't even run a state. He has ruined utilities. He has ruined taxes. He has ruined housing. He has ruined interest. He has ruined supply and demand. He spent billions on homelessness and it rose about 200%, if not more. Multiple projects the taxpayers have thrown billions at have never even started, let alone be completed, God forbid. And that just touches the surface. So if you are willing to sacrifice all of America to elect him just because he's anti-Trump, even with all of that baggage, and that just touches maybe the one.
Yes, nothing but the truth. This was a Democrat. I don't know if she is still a Democrat. She is putting out what these people don't understand. Someone told me the other day on one of my videos, if you see your enemies drowning or your opposition is to allow them to drown. In the sake of putting out rightful information, I'm bound to do this. Like to put this out so you can understand how these people blunder every single day. They have been looking for someone to be like Trump. Gavin Newsom name came into the show, struggling to be relevant on social media, putting out tweet to imitate Trump, and it is backfiring.
The taxpayers have thrown billions at have never even started, let alone be completed, God forbid. And that just touches the surface. So if you are willing to sacrifice all of America to elect him just because he's anti-Trump, even with all of that baggage, and that just touches maybe the 1% of it all, I'm sorry, that shows way more about you than anything about Trump. You talk about all this moral superiority and this higher ground, you're a better person than Republicans. You can stand a Republican, you can't stand a MAGA. You are willing to jeopardize 350 million American working class people to elect a man who has destroyed just one state alone. That is how selfish you are in your hatred for a random man that is not only temporary, but that you don't know and have your own biases about. That is absurd. People have had enough of you guys refusing to have productive conversation, to give productive policies, to put Americans first, make Americans feel safe, do anything productive besides attempt to take down the sitting president that your own neighbors voted on. And that's not our problem. That's yours. And instead of taking the next 3 years to figure out how to fix that internally, you just deflect onto us and put up Gavin Newsom, who is worse than everything that you say Trump is. So worry about that rather than whatever the hell ICE is doing or wearing. Because I promise you have much bigger.
This lady understands exactly what is going on with the Democrat Party. For some time now, they're scrambling, struggling to have someone like Trump. The other name that is coming to them is Gavin Newsom. They have looked around, they can't even figure out one. The only thing they could struggle to do was to pick Gavin to be talking like Trump, copying him in every direction. At the end of the day, they just realized this can actually work out. The other day I was watching this calculating the view.
Democrats are still looking for someone to lead them out of the hole the party is in, and some people are criticizing former President Obama, really, for not speaking out more. He did the job already. I mean, the New York Times just wrote about a recent speech where he made veiled warnings about the direction the country is heading in, but he didn't mention Trump by name. Because he's a gentleman, that's why. Does he have an obligation to get out in the public and talk more? Because he was the president, one of the great presidents, I think, 2 terms.
Yeah.
And a totally great guy.
Yeah. I mean, the country was. I think he was just such an important figure in American history as the first Black president. And certainly he was measured, brilliant, a real statesman.
About what he needs as a grown man in the world. That would be.
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama.
It's like baby Barack.
So you will see where Democrats are scrambling on daily basis. And it is insane. They are not wise. They don't know what to do. Very soon Trump will not be there. Gavin Newsom was attacking him every single day. What will he do that time? Trump is silent, relaxing somewhere. You can't be doing this to go against someone that is going out to rest after a few years. You still have a long time. You don't even know who will be the Republican nominee. It is crazy. It is good to oppose Trump policies or what he's doing, but what Gavin is doing is making him look like a fool to someone who understands what is going on. And this lady said everything